Hello everyone. In today's lecture, we will try to understand the concept of decree. The concept of decree in the Code of Civil Procedure 1908. So this is a very important concept, very important topic from the Code of Civil Procedure 1908, which has been discussed in section 2, subsection 2, section 2, subsection 2 of CPC. So section 2, subsection 2 of Code of Civil Procedure says that decree means the formal expression of an adjudication which, so far as regards the court expressing it, conclusively determines the rights of the parties with regard to all or any of the matters in controversy in the suit, and may be either preliminary or final. It shall be deemed to include the rejection of a plaint and the determination of any question within section 144, but shall not include a any adjudication from which an appeal lies as an appeal from an order, or b any order of dismissal for default. There is one explanation. A decree is preliminary when further proceedings have to be taken before the suit can be completely disposed of. It is final when such adjudication completely disposes of the suit. It may be partly preliminary or partly final. So, very important word, this decree in the civil code. So, what is decree? What is decree? And why it is important? And what is the nature of decree? So we will try to understand all this, understanding the definition of decree in detail as given in section 2, subsection 2 of CPC. Okay. So decree is that final expression by the court in which it is made clear that the suit has been completely disposed of. It has been solved and brought to the final position. Now it is to be remembered that even before bringing the suit, even before bringing the case to its final position, there can be certain orders which can be preliminary in nature, which means decree can both be final or preliminary in nature. Okay. So decree means when the court gives its final decision and says that the suit is completely disposed of. That is, court here is doing its adjudication. Court here is doing its adjudication, which means deciding the case. Adjudication, it means deciding the case. So in decree, D-E-C-R-E-E, decree, what the court actually does. So here the court gives its formal expression. Formal expression of what? Formal expression of an adjudication. Formal expression of an adjudication. Okay. So see, if the suit has been completely disposed of, then we have to consider that the final position of the case, the final position of the suit has arrived. And if the suit needs some more things to be addressed, then the preliminary position has arrived. So decree is nothing but decree is a formal expression. Decree is a formal expression of an adjudication by the court. So what the court is really doing here, this is the question. Here the court is giving the conclusive determination. This is very important. Conclusive determination. The court is giving here the conclusive determination of the rights of the parties. That is, what are the rights of the parties? to find out the rights of the parties by giving the conclusion. Okay, to find out the rights of the parties by giving the conclusion. So court is giving here what? The conclusive determination. Conclusive determination of the rights of the parties. That is, what are the rights of the parties? The parties who are involved in that particular suit, in that particular civil case. Okay, which means the court is giving the conclusion, what right or rights this party is having, and what right or rights that party or other party is having. Okay, so it also means what claims the parties are having. Claims, what claims the parties involved in the suit are having, so that this compensation can be given or provided to the parties involved in the suit, in the civil case. Okay, so you see, conclusive determination when given, that is when the court comes to the conclusion, seeing all the reasons, seeing all the evidences, seeing all the witnesses, etc., then we can say the position of decree has arrived, which means that ultimately here many or various matters will come. There will be controversy and so on. By citing an example, we can understand it properly. So let's say there is a plaintiff and a defendant. So it is a civil case. So there will be plaintiff and defendant. So there will be some sort of controversy here between them, between these two parties. And seeing the controversy, we can say, due to some matters in issue, due to some basis, this controversy has begun. So this controversy may have various or several matters in issue. It can be single matter, or maybe other matters, or there may be other matters. Like, let's say there is a partnership firm, and there are, let's say, two parties in that particular partnership firm, A and B. Now let's say they are seeking for the dissolution of the partnership firm. So here so many questions may come, like regarding sharing of the profit. A may say there should be 50% of the profit sharing. B may say 60% should be given to him, should be given to B. A says it must be equal, the sharing of the profit must be equal, but let's say B is saying he should get 60% of the profit. So the first matter here is what? So the first matter here in this example is related to sharing of the profit of the partnership firm. Then let's say the second matter is related to the settlement of the account. Settlement of the account. This is the second matter. Like this, there can be so many matters, like let's say related to interest and so on. So suppose this suit is having controversy, which is the dissolution of partnership firm. Here the controversy is regarding the dissolution of the partnership firm, and the controversy is having two matters here, two matters in issue here. That is, number one, sharing of the profit of the partnership firm, and number two, how the settlement of the account will be, done. See, if such position comes and the plaintiff and the defendant comes to such matters, the court can solve all the matters here itself. That is, by giving conclusive determination of all the matters in issue, or the court may determine any of the matters. Okay, any of the matters. So if the court in the decree gives the conclusive determination of the rights of the parties, then of what there will be the determination? If the court in the decree gives the conclusive determination of the rights of the parties involved in the suit, in the civil case, then of what there will be the determination? In the decree, determination will be of all or any of the matters in issue. In the decree, determination will be of all of the matters in issue or any of the matters in issue. So if we say in the example just now that we have discussed, that I have cited, if all the matters are determined by the court, then how many matters in this case will be conclusively determined? So in this example, 2 matters, because total there are 2 matters only. If any of the matters, then any one from the 2 matters in this example. So like the court can determine the matter related to sharing of the profit only here in this example. So from here starts what? From here starts the concept of final decree and preliminary decree. Okay, so from here starts the concept of final decree and preliminary decree. Okay, so if we say all matters have been solved in the suit completely, if we say all the matters in the suit have been solved completely, that is, if the suit has been completely, let's say, disposed of, then we can say then we can understand this is the final decree. This is a final decree. But let's say if we say but suppose if we say some of the matters have been solved, like in the example that we have cited, if the court determines only the sharing of the profit matter, only sharing of the profit matter, which is the first matter in issue, not the second matter, which was settlement of the account, the court will say that for that the parties have to wait till the next determination or the next decision given by the court, which will be given by the court. Here the court has made one matter clear by giving what? By giving the preliminary decree. That is, giving the decree related to the sharing of the profit matter. Okay. But here in the preliminary decree, the suit has not been completely disposed of. That is, further proceedings in the suit are remaining. So we have to understand that final decree completely dispose of the suit. That is, final decree comes later on, but this preliminary decree comes before the final decree, and it is also quite obvious also, na? So it means that preliminary decree is in no way dependent upon the final decree. I am repeating this again. It means that the preliminary decree is in no way dependent upon the final decree, because which decree is coming first? The preliminary decree. It is coming first, which means this preliminary decree does not depend upon the final decree, whereas its reverse is completely correct. The final decree is dependent upon what? The final decree is dependent upon the preliminary decree. You may say, how this thing has happened? Think like this. If in this particular case, in the particular example that we have cited as an example, when the settlement of the account of the partnership firm will be done, it will be decided based upon the preliminary decree given based on the it will be decided based upon the preliminary decree given based on the this sharing of the profit of the partnership firm. Okay, so it means the decision given based on the preliminary decree, based on this the final decree will be given. So this preliminary decree, it is not dependent upon the final decree, but final decree is completely dependent upon the preliminary decree. Preliminary decree will reveal what is to be done. It will reveal this preliminary decree. It will reveal what is to be done. So always keep this in your mind. This preliminary decree states what is to be done, and final decree states results achieved by this preliminary decree. So we can say, in case if the this preliminary decree is rejected, that is, if in the preliminary decree something wrong is found, let's say, then the final decree will automatically go waste, because final decree was made based on what? Based on the preliminary decree. So final decree is totally dependent upon this preliminary decree. So decree comes into existence only after judgment is finalized, and not when this decree is signed or sealed. Very important thing to remember. Decree always comes into existence only after judgment is finalized, and not when this decree is signed or sealed. You see, the decree will be signed and even sealed, but when the judge will sign and seal the decree, at that time it is not finalized. It will not come into existence. Decree comes into existence, it comes into effect when the judgment will be finalized. Thank you.